2 days ago, Insta360 released the most awaited firmware update for the Insta360 Ace Pro that I'm using now for this vlog, the version V1.0.35. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm PhotoRabs. I make videos about photography, filmmaking, camera tech related reviews, unboxings, action cams, vlogging kits and so on. If you're interested in these topics, I highly appreciate if you go subscribe to my channel. That's a massive help. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the latest firmware update for the Insta360 Ace Pro. If you remember back in December 2023, I made an interview with Alex, the head of partnerships at Insta360, and he told me that in January we will have lots of firmware updates, lots of improvements on the Insta360 Ace Pro, and we got the version 1.0.27 and now the version 1.0.35, and these two firmware updates combined together are really interesting for this little action camera and vlogging camera from Insta360. But there are still some stuff that Insta360 can improve on the Insta360 Ace Pro, and in this video I'm going to take you through the major updates in this latest firmware as well as my wish list for the upcoming firmware from Insta360. But first, let me tell you how we update this camera. You don't need a huge knowledge about that. It's so simple. You have to open the Insta360 application on your smartphone, turn on the camera, connect them together, and you will see a pop-up notification telling you that you have a firmware update. So you can download it and then you can install it. It will take maybe 1 or 2 minutes and that's it. And you are ready to go with the new firmware update with your Insta360 Ace Pro. With this new firmware update, now you can toggle the HDR on and off for the 25 frames per second and 30 frames per second, and that's for me something amazing because my favorite frame rates for vlogs and for casual videos and rushes is the 25 frames per second, and now we are able to shoot without the HDR mode on. So now I'm shooting this vlog with the HDR off, but let us turn it on to see the difference. This is HDR off, 4K 25 frames per second. And now I'm shooting with the HDR on, 4K 25 frames per second. So let me know if you prefer the HDR mode on or off. Personally, I prefer it off, especially for vlogs, because I feel that the HDR mode can disturb a little bit the skin tones, and I don't like the color signs on the skin tones with the HDR mode on. So that's why I prefer it always off for vlogs. And now we can toggle the HDR mode on and off on the free frame mode, which is, for me, it was not a big deal on this camera, but recently I'm using the free frame mode a lot and I'm enjoying it a lot, especially for short content videos and for reels on Instagram. And I really like this one because we have the grid on, so we can be sure exactly what we are recording and how we can use the videos later on. And the next most important thing on this firmware update is having the sharpness mode right on the shooting mode and not on the camera settings. I don't know why it was there in the beginning, but now it's the normal place for the sharpness settings, and it's much easier to have access to it rather than when it was on the camera menu settings. And if you remember back in December 2023, when I had the interview with the head of partnerships at Insta360, I asked him why we don't have the clarity zoom in photo mode. That was a question that I got from a subscriber to my channel. Thank you for sending me this question. And because of this question, Insta360 added this feature now in this firmware update. So for all the photographers who would like to use the Insta360 to create some photos on the go, now you can use the clarity zoom, and that's amazing. You can have a 2x zoom in it. For me, it was not a big deal because I know that I can take the photo with all the sensor size and then I can crop later on. But now it's much easier. We can take a photo with the clarity zoom with this Insta360 Ace Pro. On this firmware update, we have lots of other improvements on the camera on the Insta360 Ace Pro, but personally, I'm not so interested in. They are not interesting for my workflow. Personally, they might be interesting for you. I invite you to go check them out on the Insta360 website, but there is something that is still missing on this firmware update, and this is related to the DJI Mic 2 and the capability of the camera to be connected via Bluetooth to a microphone. I remember on the first firmware that we had on the camera, the connection was good. The audio quality was not so good, the transmission was not so good, but the connection was good. And I was not really happy with the audio quality via the Bluetooth connection back then. And after all the firmware updates that we got, now we cannot use the DJI Mic 2 with the Insta360 Ace Pro, and that's something that I'm sure that Insta360 are working on, because on my interview with Alex, the head of partnerships, we discussed this issue, and I'm sure that they are working on it. So it's gonna happen, it's gonna arrive very soon. I invite you to wait a little bit if you have the Insta360 or if you are willing to get the DJI Mic 2, because the camera has the Bluetooth capability, and I'm sure that the connection is gonna be established very soon with the next firmware update. I hope so. I'm sure that the Insta360 engineers are working on it to have a better audio experience, because as I said before, even if it worked on the first firmware update, on the first firmware of the Insta360 Ace Pro, but the audio quality was not good. I made a video about it, by the way, you can go check it out, and you can hear with your own ears that the audio was not so good with the DJI Mic 2 connected via Bluetooth to the Insta360 Ace Pro, and I'm sure that it's gonna come very soon. So if you are interested, I highly recommend you to wait a little bit on the Insta360 teams in order to make it work in the best way possible. And I made a short video yesterday about this issue, because now I'm using the DJI Mic 2 as well with the Insta360 Ace Pro, but I'm recording on board on this DJI Mic 2, and then I will sync the files later on in post, which is an extra step that I have to do in order to get a good audio quality with the Insta360 and the DJI Mic 2 for my vlog, but it's worth it, trust me, it's worth it. And that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, like, comment, share and subscribe. If you are interested in the Insta360 Ace Pro or the DJI Mic 2, I have affiliate links in the description below. Feel free to check them out. You can get some free stuff from Insta360 and some discounts on this microphone from DJI, and you help my channel a lot. And thank you for watching. Ciao for now.